Steven Crowder's getting divorced. Holy shit, let's talk about this. A lot of you guys are very excited about this and wanted me to talk about this. So here you go. I'm going to analyze this video, Steven Crowder's current divorce. Big shock. As well as what this means or what this is an indication of in terms of long-term monogamy working or not. It doesn't. And in terms of conservatism and you right-wingers and tradcons and Trump supporters and Republicans and Steven Crowder and Jordan Peterson worshipers in the modern era. You're fucked. You already lost. All right. So before that, really quick, this is one of the first in the new formats of videos I will be doing at both of my YouTube channels, Sovereign CEO and Alpha Male 2.0, and where I have good audio. See, the audio's pretty good, huh? Okay, good. I've improved it. But shitty camera, shitty lighting, no editing, no graphics, no annotations, no nothing, just me talking, and I just record this video raw and upload it to YouTube. So you're going to see a lot of errors and mistakes. And I got to turn this way a bunch of times to refer to my notes. And if I start sweating a little bit, I got to dab my face. I might need a drink of water and no edits, none of that shit. And if you don't like that, I will put a link to the video in the description of this video as to why I had to do that. I already talked about this on my other channel, Sovereign CEO, why I have been forced to do videos like this. Cool. Okay. So, Steven Crowder. First off, top of the list, I am not a Steven Crowder, follower, but I'm aware of Steven Crowder. I've seen many Steven Crowder videos. He's a big name on the YouTubes, so I've seen many of them. I have friends and a few family members, most of whom in my wife's family, who are right-wingers and think he's just fucking great. Caleb, did you see the latest Steven Crowder where he talked about da-da-da and Joe Biden sucks? Yeah, what a big fucking difference that's going to make to you. You're in a collapsing country. It doesn't fucking matter who you vote for. So I am definitely aware of Steven Crowder and been peripherally following him over the last few years. As soon as I watched a few of his videos, I knew immediately that he was a high drama person. You can tell, or at least I can tell. Maybe you can't tell. I think most people can tell. You watch someone. You watch how they move and how they talk and how they interact with people and the things they do in their lives. And you can tell this is a high drama person. This is a person who has a lot of conflict and arguments that are very long and intense with the people close to him in his life. His wife, his girlfriend, his coworkers, his friends. This is a guy with a lot of conflict and problems in terms of drama in his life. This is not a low drama person. I made the same assessment about Andrew Tate, and that should be obvious. I mean, you watch a few Andrew Tate videos, including really good ones, and raise your hand if you think Andrew Tate is a low drama guy who doesn't argue with the women he dates. And when he argues, the arguments are very brief and very short, and he has a very calm tone of voice, and he doesn't go on and rant and scream, right? That's another high drama person. I can tell this of women I go on first dates with. I've been in scenarios where I've been on a first date with a woman, and I'm like, this is a high drama woman. This is a high drama person. Nice person, intelligent person, maybe pretty. Doesn't matter. No, we're not talking about that. We're talking about drama. This is a high drama woman. If I dated this woman as anything more than an FB, I would experience a lot of arguments and drama and conflict and bullshit because I can tell this is a high drama person. So I've always known this about Steven Crowder. Various things in his past where when people have requested to debate him, he gets really weird and gets very defensive and angry, and scenarios where his dad has stepped in and told him how to run his business, and just a lot of weird, high drama, low emotional control behavior, typical of what you would expect with an alpha male 1.0, which I'll cover in a second. Let's see. So the fact that this happened, A, that he's getting a divorce, and B, that it's a horrible divorce that's lasted a long time with lots of problems, none of this surprised me. And if it surprised you, you're dumb. You should have saw this coming a mile away, including the nature of the divorce. I got divorced, but it wasn't horrible. It was a very normal divorce. I got mad. She got mad. We got divorced. We moved on. It wasn't like for years and years we argued and screamed at each other and fought, and we fought in court, and we didn't have any of those problems. I'm not saying we were happy. Of course not. You're not happy during divorce, but you get my point. Because I'm not a high drama person. I just go, okay, didn't work. Let's move on. Great. Oh, you're not getting my money in this, and you're not kids. All the stuff Steven Crowder is doing. So let's talk about that leaked video of him and his wife talking on the patio. If you have not seen it, you can just do a search on YouTube for that. First off, I don't like leaked stuff. It bothers me. I think it's immoral and unethical on many levels. I walk my talk. I've said this before, where when we had the fappening, remember that a few years ago, where a bunch of female celebrities, hang on, I need to drink water. A bunch of female celebrities, some hacker hacked their phones and posted a bunch of nude pictures that they had taken and sent to their boyfriends on the internet for everyone to watch. Remember that? To this day, I have never looked at a fappening video, photo. I've never looked at a fappening photo, ever. I've never done it. You know why? Because it's not cool. These women didn't release it. So if a woman releases it, then okay. If she leaks it on purpose, like, Kim Kardashian, that's different. But I don't like leaked stuff. And so it bothered me to watch this video because I don't like leaked stuff. That's their personal business. What's funny is, if anything leaked from my life, it would be just obvious basic Caleb shit. You're like, well, yeah, that's what Caleb does. Because I am not monogamous. I have nothing to hide. I've been talking about my personal life for 15 years on the internet publicly. So, but normal people, non-alpha male 2.0s like Steven Crowder, that's his personal business. So I don't like this. But you guys wanted me to comment on it, so there you go. It's also very possible, I don't know the details, that his wife leaked this video and that his wife knew it was going to happen. So it's possible, I'm not saying this happened, but it's entirely possible that she knew she was being recorded and was being, I love you, you're wonderful, I love you, I'll do whatever you want. And he's screaming and yelling at her and she knew, I got him. So that's possible. So you got to take some of this with a grain of salt. Now, this doesn't change anything I'm saying about Steven Crowder being a very low emotional control, extreme alpha male 1.0 with lots of fucking problems and drama in his life. That doesn't change a fucking thing. I'm just saying, you gotta take this stuff with a grain of salt sometimes. If you watch that video of him just ranting and screaming at his wife about respect me and do what I'm telling you and respect the men, and if you were to read the first few chapters of The Unchained Man, my primary book, which is right there, okay? If you read the first few of those chapters on how I describe alpha male 1.0s, and then watch that video, he is the picture perfect example, quintessential example of alpha male 1.0 behavior, which I summarize as respect my authority, which is Cartman from South Park, right? When he's pretending to be a cop. Respect my authority. The alpha male 1.0 needs to control and to be heard. And the biggest aspect in his life that he needs is respect. You need to respect me. Respect me. The alpha male 2.0 doesn't give a fuck about respect. I don't care about respect. I don't care if my wife respects me. I care that she loves me and doesn't give me drama. That's it. I'm good. I don't care if she respects me or not. Don't give a fuck. I'm too busy building my mission, living a great life. I don't care if my mom and dad respect me. Don't give a fuck. Don't give a fuck. Outcome independence. The alpha male 1.0 is outcome dependent. He needs people to feel a certain way about him. Again, very Andrew Tate. Andrew Tate wants you, needs you to feel a certain way about him. Doesn't he? So does Steven Crowder about his wife. He needs to be respected. And the way he's issuing commands and orders, go to the store and get my stuff from my barbecue grill. Don't take the car, just take an Uber. And she's like, well, why? You need to respect me. You need to respect the man. I mean, everything that came out of his mouth is pure alpha male 1.0, which is why alpha male 1.0s are not capable of long-term happiness. They're too busy arguing with people and commanding them and getting them to do what they want. And as I've said many times in my books and my blogs and my courses and everything else for the past 15 years, people don't do what they're told. People are not robots, women in particular. They are not magical robots that say, yes, master, I will do whatever you tell me. Yes, that's the alpha male 1.0 fantasy, is that he gets a girlfriend or wife, and for the rest of his life, whenever he says, do this, she says, yes, master. Yes, I will do it. I love you. I love you, honey. I respect you as the man. You are the authority because the Bible says so. And I will follow what the Bible says. Yes, 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 yes. And they go, good. She respects me. I remember my dad. My dad, when I was a child, now today it's no longer true, but when I was a child, he was an alpha male 1.0 himself. Mild alpha male 1.0, but he was an alpha male 1.0. And he would say, go do, he would tell me to do something, command me, because that's what alpha male 1.0 dads do. And I would say, well, wait, why would I want to do that? Why don't I do this first? And he would say, his famous line back then was, don't talk back. I go, what? And I would say, what does that mean? I don't know what that means. What he was saying was, do what you're fucking told and don't give me any shit. Just do what you're fucking told. Respect me. And he was really big on respect because he was an alpha male 1.0, just like Steven Crowder. Okay. What else here? So interesting. Let me shift gears now. Well, let's see. What else I want to say about that before I shift gears off Steven Crowder? Yeah, I guess that's it. This is why the alpha male 1.0 can achieve some level of happiness, but it can never be consistent. So an alpha male 1.0 is an alpha male They're successful in certain areas, maybe physically or in business or with women or maybe two of those areas. So that's good. They're alphas. But they're alphas that need other human beings in their lives to constantly do what they're told and respect them. And when they don't, not if, when they don't, even Andrew Tate has women talking back to him, doesn't he? When they say, fuck you, I don't want to do that, alpha male 1.0s explode and now they're angry. And they destroy their lives. They destroy their marriages. I've seen businesses destroyed by alpha male 1.0s getting angry and reactive. The alpha male 2.0 doesn't care. The alpha male 2.0 is not independent. The alpha male 2.0 doesn't, I don't tell my wife what to do ever. Now, the beauty of this is she can't tell me what to do. Ha-ha. So I don't tell her what to do. I don't. Unless it's an unusual scenario where I have to, and it's a scenario where we have both agreed I'm going to tell her what to do in this area. Like I help her manage her finances, for example. So in that area, she has agreed, yes, tell me what to do with my finances. But that's the exception. I don't tell her what to do. I don't care. I don't have her go get groceries and shit. I could do a whole thing about that, of how Pink Firefly and I handled that in our marriage. But we don't have arguments like this. We've been married, we've been married for 5 years, together for 8. Working pretty well. And if we were to get divorced, it would be over in 48 hours and I would move on. I wouldn't be arguing and screaming and bitching and drag it on for 2 years. As I've talked about many times in my marriage, if I got divorced from Pink Firefly, she'd be out of the house within 48 hours and the divorce would be over in literally 30 days. And I would spend about $150 in legal fees because of all the prenuptial documentation she signed and the way I've arrayed my assets. Be real easy, pure, simple, not a big problem. I wouldn't be happy about it, but it wouldn't be like Steven Crowder divorce, Mr. Traditional Monogamous Marriage. So let's talk about that. Steven Crowder did exactly, in terms of structuring his marriage, did exactly what traditional conservative / red pillish people have been advising for years. In that, what do they say? You need to settle down with a woman who's really young, really, really young, because that way she hasn't fucked too many guys yet. See, ideally, you want to settle down with a virgin who's a Christian. Then it'll work. Steven Crowder has bragged several times that before he got married, he never had sex. And I would imagine his wife is in the same scenario or very similar. Either she was a virgin when they got married, or she only had sex with maybe 1 or 2 guys. I would imagine that's the case. Matter of fact, I would bet money that's the case because I'm sure that was very important to him. Mr. Christian, right? Did it work? No. Now, let me ask you this question. I've asked this question before. If the model of marrying some really young Christian virgin and being a Christian alpha male worked, if that made long-term monogamy work, you should now have on the internet hundreds of thousands of men, if not millions of men, hundreds of thousands, not 1 or 2 exceptions, but hundreds of thousands of men on the internet right now saying, I did that and it worked. 13 years ago, I married a 19-year-old girl who was a Christian virgin, and 13 years later, we are still married. We never got divorced. We never got separated. She's never fucked anyone else except me. I've never cheated on her. We have sex all the time. It's great. How many men have you seen on the internet report that? Honestly, make a list. Have you heard even one man say something like that? Probably haven't heard 1 or 2. Now, maybe you've heard 1 or 2. Statistically, you'll come up with 1 or 2 exceptions. Sure. You should, if that model worked, you shouldn't be hearing it from 1 or 2. You should be hearing it from hundreds of thousands of men. Yet there's silence because that model doesn't fucking work. It doesn't work. Do you know what the divorce rate is for young girls when they settle down? Women under the age of 23, if you marry like a 19-year-old, the odds of divorce is something like 92%. If you marry someone or move in with someone, long-term expectations, settle down with someone, you're asking for a divorce, and you're asking for a horrible divorce. This is why when I got married the second time, I went out of my way to not marry someone who was 19, and I could have. I had many opportunities with many different people to marry or settle down with women who are 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. I've talked about this. I purposely looked for someone in her early to mid-30s for various reasons. I knew I didn't want to go through that changing phase that women go through in their 20s. I want to do that, okay? So this model, yet again, has failed because it doesn't work. Long-term monogamy does not work. It doesn't fucking matter how many men she's fucked before you. It doesn't matter how old she was when you married her, unless you want to marry someone who's over age 65. That might work. It doesn't matter how pretty she is. It doesn't matter how religious she is. It doesn't matter how alpha you are. It doesn't matter if you're a right-winger or left-winger or a Christian. It doesn't matter if Jordan Peterson says that or Andrew Tate says this or the Bible says that. Long-term sexual monogamy does not work in the modern-day Western world. Human beings were never designed to do this. You are fantasizing. Now, if you want to get outside the Western world, I've said this many times, if you want to convert to Islam and move to Saudi Arabia and grow a beard and marry 4 wives, maybe you could make that work. Now, talk about high drama. I live in a Muslim country. I live in Dubai. Here in Dubai, I know guys with 4 wives. They have 4 wives and a girlfriend. These are not low drama guys either. You think there's no arguments when you have 4 wives? You fucking kidding? Shoot me in the fucking head. Okay? But anyway, doesn't work. Doesn't work. Doesn't work. Okay? It's a fantasy. Let's see. Now, let me finish up with what this means for conservatism, because this is one of the biggest conservatives on YouTube, if not probably the biggest conservative. I mean, is Steven Crowder bigger than Ben Shapiro? I think he is. If not, it's neck and neck, right? As I have reported many times at my blogs, and I've been talking about this for over a decade, you right-wingers lost the war. You lost the culture war. You lost the government war, the fiscal war, a very long time ago, around 2010 during Obama's second term. That was 13 fucking years ago. Matter of fact, at the time, Rush Limbaugh, who was the biggest conservative back then, said it. He said it on the radio. I heard him say it. He said, conservatism has failed in the United States. It's failed. We lost. He said, we can still be conservatives. There will still be conservatives, a lot of them. We can still talk about it, but it's failed, and it has failed. The left has taken over the media, the news, big tech, schools, universities. You go down the list. The left has won. Okay, this is a left-wing country, it has for a long time. Okay, and it'll continue to be more left. Even if you will re-elect Donald Trump, as I said, 2016, the leftism of America will continue even if Trump becomes president, and I was right. Are we more woke now or less woke now after Trump was president for 4 years? Yeah, you're fucked. You right-wingers, traditional conservatives, Jordan Peterson worshipers, Republicans, Trump dorks, you guys, many of you, most of you, are like those Japanese soldiers they found on those islands in like the 1960s, 20 years after World War II was over, and they still thought World War II was going on, and they had their guns out like, we're going to win. No, dumb fuck, you lost. You lost 20 years ago. You're insane. I still see comments on my YouTube channels and my social media from, right-wingers saying, we're going to win, Caleb. Dumb fuck, you lost over 13 years ago. You already lost. The war is over. You lost. I'm sorry. And so everything that happens now, and has happened for many years, is just another nail in the coffin of the dead conservative laying in the coffin with the woke, transgender, purple-haired feminist standing over his grave going, ha ha, fuck you. That's the Western world right now. That's part of the collapse of Western civilization. And this right-wing civil war that is going on right now is the last fucking thing you conservatives need. Steven Crowder was outed by Candace Owens, who, by the way, I don't want to call people names. I'm going to try not to call people names. Candace Owens, let's stay factual. Candace Owens, who I've met, she was at one of the Freedom Fests a while back, is completely intellectually dishonest. She doesn't know what the hell she's talking about. I suggest you search Candace Owens, Joe Rogan, climate change, and watch that video. And you'll see how passionately strong she is about topics she knows nothing about. She's one of the 3 big goofballs on the right. It's Candace Owens, Sean Hannity, and what's his name? Dave Rubin, who a lot of you guys watch. A lot of you guys watch one or more of these people, and you take them seriously. So this whole thing about, the left can afford a civil war, right? They've already in control of everything. And they've been at civil war for a long time. Left hates the left. That's one of the reasons they haven't completely taken over yet, 100%, is the left is always fighting the left. The left eats their own. But now the conservatives are fighting each other. Another nail in the coffin. Conservatism was defeated a very long time ago. You're not going to save the United States. You're not going to be able to get a traditional monogamous marriage to some future fantasy woman who hasn't fucked any guys before you, and you're going to stay married forever, and she's going to raise your kids and be a perfect wife, and none of that's going to happen in the Western world. Now, outside the Western world, in some parts of the world, maybe you might have a shot about that if you don't mind marrying a woman who isn't white. See, that's the hilarious part of this, is most of you right-wingers are really big on white people and the white race and shit like that. Sorry. Not going to work. So that's it. More of the same. Lastly, I'll wrap up with this. This isn't going to change anyone's opinions in terms of the red pillish, right-wingish, tradcon world. Very few, if any, of these guys are going to look at Steven Crowder and go, oh, wow, you know what? Maybe being a Christian and marrying a virgin and being a virgin myself, maybe that doesn't work in terms of long-term. Maybe long-term monogamy doesn't work. Maybe I should adopt a different model, like Caleb's Oil Terror marriage. Maybe I should adopt something different. They're not going to do that. They're going to go, well, this sucks. And they're going to go right back to, I need to marry a 22-year-old girl who hasn't fucked any guys, who's a Christian, and whose parents are still married, and I need to be an alpha male. And if I'm alpha and tough, then she'll just respect my authority. And yeah, you're not going to see any changes. And the West will continue to collapse. That's it. Have fun.